I answer numerous questions from posts in Telegram, Instagram, banned in Russia, or VK. Will the door open if there is something in front of it? No, of course, the door won't open. She will do like this. And until the obstacle disappears, it will not open further. And if the more this obstacle disappears, that is, if I moved a little further away now, the door would open immediately, or close. Or that's how it works all the time. That's the joke. Therefore, you close the door and open it in a human way. Immediately get out. Just like this, how it all works. A little awkward. How to open the hood? Don't say that through the menu. No? After all, there is at least something physical here. Wait, that's awesome. They hid everything. Since our cars are electric, but it will not always be electric. It also naturally exists in a hybrid version. You need to do it twice. I got out of the BMW, I agree. That is, there may really be a B52 engine here, or it may not be. In our case, of course, it is not. We still have the S60 configuration. Well, it's okay. There are options for how to close it quietly. Therefore, there is a kind of shield under which a great variety of everything can be hidden. Wow! In our case, we just have inverters, electric motors, and everything that you are used to seeing in everything electric. Starting from Nissan Leaf and ending with Audi, and so on and so on. But, however, even by the stock of this place, and by the layout, it is clear that it is relatively traditional. The same B58 will fly here, with an electric motor, with anything else. But because of this, it turns out that unlike the electric cars we're used to, whatever they're in this great future, there is no luggage compartment, which is usually located in front, even if it is so small, for the back, for the same charging wires that you will have with you a whole bunch. So for all this, the niches are usually located here. In this case, she's not here. Well, accordingly, it will not. The rare part looks of the Armenians have made a design and, in principle, made themselves body kits. Because there should be more strict bumpers, as in my opinion, if we're talking about the 7 Series, but it's still okay. Now the car is just standing, let's say she can turn on the reverse gear. This is all the reverse gear indication that is present in this life of the new 7th. And if you're standing behind her in the stream, and she suddenly went back, and you don't understand why, you probably need to get out of your car, approach the 7, bend down and see how the reverse gear is burning there. But it's still okay. Let's say you still want to pull some kind of trailer, but you haven't even pulled it yet. You have a wonderful electric tow bar with you. By the way, it leaves quickly. It's awesome attached. Here it is already in stock. And now if you turn on the reverse gear, it turns out in principle a meaningless story. Well, let's say you don't have a trailer with you yet, and you forgot to remove the tow bar, thus the reversing light shines exactly in the tow bar. The trunk itself, unremarkable, is far from the largest, because an electric motor and batteries occupy a huge amount of space under the trunk floor. The remaining space is traditionally occupied by your wires, of which several pieces are included here at once. And there can be no full-fledged spare or finishing here in any case. As for a long time, by the way, many BMWs, they're just a puncture sealing fluid and a regular compressor that you can use to inject this fluid if suddenly your wheel is punctured. It is noteworthy that in order to open the trunk, first of all you have a keychain with a button, and then for sure you have gesture control, which will not work now because the car is turned on. But just to open the trunk, you need to press the button, which will always be very dirty, plastered with everything you can. Even in summer it will be in the dust, and in winter it will generally be covered with a huge layer of dirt. Here we have a camera that doesn't have a washer. There is. She have a washer? It goes straight out of the icon. Seriously? Is she coming out from below? The icon in the middle, the propeller. The propeller is rising. Do you have a knife? Come on, turn it on. Do you catch it? Yeah, sure. And now I'll even take off the logo. I don't know. You took it off? Yes. That's how it works, guys. Keep in mind, easy money. That's all, thank you. This button, it will be completely always dirty. You will not be able to use it, but I'm sure there is also gesture opening. Let's try. Turn it off. But it can be that there is no gesture control here. Yes, of course it is. Super. But nevertheless, they also made a button which, by the way, looks very disgusting because it is black, glossy on a glossy black trunk. You need to hold it. Oh, BMW. Let go, that's it, it doesn't close anymore. In short, it is always stained even now. And, by the way, it will even climb a little. No? Up? So, can I... It both opens and closes. Wonderful logic. Well, in general, in any case, there is something to strive for. This button could in principle in general, as a last resort, be removed. But thanks for the washer, I was surprised. I was extremely interested to understand how it feels in the back row. We're even jumping off the curb now, conditionally. It was not felt in any way, of course. The back, I would say, is as comfortable as the front, which is basically logical for a 7. Regarding long, it feels like he is needed. I do not know specifically whether it is long or not, but according to all my feelings it is short, because just look at how I'm sitting. I can't stretch my legs forward anymore, despite the fact that the front passenger is sitting comfortably. The passenger is sitting the same way as Vladislav. That is, he sits comfortably for himself. But I still want to stretch my legs. This, it seems to me, is the first sign that it is not quite long, which is, if I would like, probably more authentic. It will be necessary to find out this question. In addition to this, I'm just sitting in my default setting right now, and I have a straight back. I'm just sitting like a passenger in taxi. In addition, since this is still a representative class, here on my screen on the right I can select the seats menu, and there will be a launch function. That is, for example, now I have turned it on, and my front seat starts to move away. And I can already see the jump, because the headrest in this front seat will never be able to tip over. If it was my favorite Range Rover, or say my favorite S-Class, then the front seat, when it goes forward, it still has a headrest at the end like this. And this firstly gives the driver an overview in the right mirror. However, it can be implemented here in this way. Secondly, it gives me a view through the windshield. Now, for example, I can still see the headrest of the seat in my windshield, and it's not going anywhere, because it can't recline. So I tip over, not bad, and I have a shelf under my feet. It goes out somehow like this. I'm sitting right now, oh, I'm still getting there. Whoa, that's how I sit. It is still being configured, and it is a direct continuation of sitting. The bottom cushions, chairs, and with it are inseparable. It visually looks very cool. You have something that is not separate. It's just this one big thing. But the shelf on which my feet are now lying, it's like this. It is very narrow. My heels barely fit on it. It even slips out a little. And to avoid this, I need to go to the front seat settings in this screen again, press the pillow here, and adjust the entire front seat here through this screen. Well, probably like this for yourself now, maybe even a little higher. Now I've tuned in perfectly, but I want to say that all the same, this foot shelf, it should be bigger, wider and softer in front. Then it will be more comfortable, because now we have… this is leather, with a small padding, but it is quite tough. That is, if I took off my shoes now, for example, as normal guys should be in general. But after this video we will immediately clear everything, and say put my bare feet on the same shelf, it probably won't be so comfortable. That is like, for example, how it was made in my Range Rover or in the S-Class. There is a pillow right there so soft, cool, you fold your legs right on it and rest. Nevertheless, you can relax even here without any problems. I'm sitting super comfortable, super excellent, and except that looking through the windshield. I'm still staring at the same headrest of the chair, and there is no getting away from it. Now, of course, maybe I would let go of the screen now and watch a movie here, if the screen wasn't a brick now, unfortunately. Otherwise, Otherwise, of course, you're sitting cool. The only thing missing here are the additional buttons, because, for example, I want now to perform two simple actions. This will cause the seat to default, that is, from a lying position to a sitting position. To do this, I need to click something here now. Press once, twice, press reset. Okay, we got it. And now I want to lift the curtain at the window. So I can't raise this now because the screen is busy changing the position of the chairs. And I don't have a physical button to raise the curtain, for example here. Thus, I now have to wait until all the chairs came to an upright position. Now we are waiting for it. And after that, my amazing screen will be available to me again, on which I will already press the necessary button and lift the curtain. So if there were a little more physical buttons here, at least as before in the same G11 body, then there would be no such problems. I could just use a simple button without any additional movements, without all these implementations into this cyber screen, to raise the curtains and make some necessary most basic key options that are really often used and can be useful to me. But here it is not. Everything is on the screen here. You can't do anything here without it. You won't turn on the massage, you won't turn on the heating, you won't turn on the ventilation of the chairs, you won't lift the curtain. That is, everything is done through one screen. On the one hand, yes, it is convenient. You have all the functions in one place. In a different sense, you have to do something through this screen. And there is a lot of everything here. Everything does not come out in one click. You have to click, select menu, sort out this menu, customize it for yourself, and so on. As a result, you're constantly poking at the screen a lot. There is understanding that such cars are often bought by people, so to speak, of the old formation. Therefore, often the S-Class in general, the entire executive class in cars, is subject to some kind of conservatism. For this, many, for example, Land Rover owners and love Land Rover. Oh, how strangely she passes speed bumps. Do you notice it too? In the hang-up falls as if. Now it was more or less. The first time it all just boom. That is, she does not squat after a speed bump. She immediately falls, as if into a bump. Interesting. This is exactly a speed bump. Nikita and I also noted this. A rails passes brilliantly. It slips off the curbs great. But speed bumps… Is there an air suspension here? I think yes. Maybe she's trying to compensate like a Rolls-Royce, and it turns out not like a Rolls-Royce at all. Yes, it turns out on like a Kia K5. Great, but a little more expensive. Well, the most important feature of the back row is the crazy rare screen. Oh, the alpha is bent by the curtain. Just a little bit. At the same time, such a sound is heard. I find myself in cinema mode, and I have a rare display. However, gentlemen, this is where the adventures of this display end, and you can fold it back. Remove all the curtains. This cannot be done at the same time because in this case the display is busy. Let's now remove all the curtains back, and we will not be able to turn on the display today as a result. Now wait, I need to look at the menu anyway. Go into the curtains, open everything. Awesome. And return to this position. In order for this screen to work now, you need to log into your BMW ID account. Vladislav has it because he has a BMW car. We logged in, but his BMW ID doesn't fit, because apparently something else is needed. You need to register, link this car to the database. It is not linked the result. Now half of the multimedia functions of the car is brick, and unfortunately we can't do anything about it. These are the new fancy cars. There is an HDMI port on the screen. It is located right here on the back side. There is also Type-C, there is a port for connecting headphones, and everything seems like it can be done, but all the options that are responsible for the remote control of this TV, they will be displayed in gray and will not work. And when you click on them, no prompts pop up. We have now spent an hour of time trying to connect at least some of this. It didn't connect anything, gentlemen. But otherwise, of course, everything is a Canon. Beautiful panoramic roof, beautiful glazing. You drive like a god. The only thing I do want is, of course, to remove this one, because otherwise the car turns, just in general, into the most ordinary. Now it has become bad. Yes, we have, of course, a glove compartment in the back, wireless charging, Type-C charging, and there is even a ski hatch. I remind you that in all this luxury you can still go skiing, because there is a hatch in the back for access or to the luggage compartment, or just to fold the same skis. In short, cool. But it could have been even cooler. The main problem with the new 7 is that it is strange. Imagine if I, for example, well, just like, let's think. This is how the new 7 looks like, and everything seems to be the same, nothing has changed. But the glasses are put on top of the hat. Damn, this is complete nonsense. So in fact with it, it's like a 7, like a BMW, like everything is fine with it. Everything is cool, you can live, but there are several aspects. There is nothing special about the appearance of this BMW. Take away that radiator grille too. That's it. It's not a BMW, it's something Chinese, really weird. The black dashboard is now like everyone else's. It became the same. If the G11, the 7, the previously body was really exceptional, was out of the ordinary. I liked everything, the finish of the buttons, which was not repeated with other series. That is, it was richer, cooler, brighter than the same 5 and so on. Now I'm transferring from a Chinese GAC car to a BMW 7. I see an absolutely identical dashboard. Yes, it has better graphics, it has crazy content, but globally. My worldview of cars does not change now, if I change from a car in a 2 to a car in 20. And this is a huge problem. The new 7 is rapidly losing its identity. This is no longer a BMW of the highest series, it's just something fancy, electric, awesome. There are no features that distinguish it. We were even deprived of the sport, individual, comfort buttons. Comfort is relaxation, another kind of express, something like that. In general, everything is different here, a completely new story, written as if from a sheet, right here and now. We have been fighting for so long for a certain continuity, for some rigor of the band, for some family traits, for some traditions, for what was inherent in BMW and the 7. And here with a stroke of the pen, it's all destroyed. There is nothing else. What's here from the 7? In the sense that we know except for the size. Sluggishness in behavior on the road, yes, I agree. It drives awesome. And considering that we're now standing at the 7, and this is kind of trendsetter, always all the technology, some solutions, design elements that we observed from the beginning in the 7 series later fell into simpler series, into business class, into the 5, into the Access. And that is in theory, it will all move on there. Can you imagine what? They're eradicating the BMW family, in fact, with the 7. They do, I do not know, something ordinary. In the reviews of the 7, we put on clear music, we put on grandiose music, we put on classical music, and both BMW suit it. It is both for the driver and the drivers, and luxuries for the backseat, and for the boys. This car is not clear. Is there a super luxury in it? Yes. But it hides behind Chinese light bulbs, gadgets, and it blurs the eye. Because of this, the luxury behind it is no longer visible, because you just have everything jumping, constantly flashing, and you don't know how to deal with it all at once. A luxury lies in some basic values. How you sit, how you feel, what materials do you have at hand, how much do you generally feel harmoniously inside this car, and not like a smartphone that you bought and ask your son to sort it out. Because this or that function doesn't work and you don't understand it. Can you imagine how a wealthy man of 50-60 years old will struggle with these doors, which are now closed and not closed, as they need, what do they need? It will be infuriating. Therefore, always such super pretentious options went extremely carefully into the new sevens. And now they all fell from above at once like a piano. Just on the hump of this poor man, and he stands and doesn't know what to do with it. Like me, for example. Why does the door not close? What is happening? And these are the people who are not used to listening to advice, who are always right about everything. They command and set the rules around them, and the seven will break them, including the design. The future is uncertain, gentlemen. This is the very future that is not worth looking into, and it is clear that there will be more civilian versions with human motors, with human, perhaps even doors that will not open themselves, and so on. Return the human dashboard and return the sport button to normal, so that you can turn on, and that's it. There is a boost button that replaces, rather, not one button but one pedal. Even the second pedal is gone now. Yes, we have not found how to turn off the stabilization. Perhaps it's somewhere. That is in the menu when connecting BMW ID. Not even Vladislav, but someone else's, and maybe even the monitor at the back will work. How many failures? It was nevertheless still a great, grandiose, perfectly driving, super comfortable BMW of the 7 Series. I'm sincerely glad that it has fallen into our hands. Now everyone writes in the comments about each model. It won't come in, then no one needs it, but gentlemen, in the world of endless abundance, endless choice of the option you need, and right now, this is what the Russian car market looks like. You can buy everything. What you have never been able to buy before, starting from Chinese brands that you never heard of before, and now they're at every turn, ending with the most departed complete sets that have never been delivered to Russia. You can buy all this yourself and vote for it with your ruble. Here's the question: will buyers vote for it? Thank you all so much for watching this video. For the first time, we finished the reviews of the 7th with a slight sadness, but nevertheless, good luck to all of you guys. We're holding on, and we're waiting for a car for straight people. If we found one, we will definitely tell you. Good luck, and so far.